Good afternoon, Becky. How are you today?
Hello, Bonnie. I'm good today.
Good. You look lovely. What are we
Thank
having
you.
today for your lunch with Becky?
Well, this is going to be a late lunch, so it's a little heavier. You ever have those afternoons and maybe those evenings where you just don't want to mess with a bunch of stuff? Well, this is the day. So this is sheet pan dinners. It's you can do a number of things, but today we're going to do a sheet pan flank steak with garlic roasted potatoes. And then we're also going to do a classic wedge salad with blue cheese dressing. And then last but not least, we're going to do a chocolate sheet cake.
Texas sheet cake?
Yeah, Texas sheet cake, yeah.
So if this is
So
lunch, then I'm not going to want to have dinner.
Well, thing is, if you have a late lunch, you don't have to eat dinner, right?
Exactly. Yes.
That's right.
It all sounds great. I'm trying not to talk over you because sometimes it's a little lag. So I'll let you talk and then I'll jump in when I can.
Okay. Well, the first thing we're going to do today is just hello, everybody. You know, sometimes I think we just need to slow down and take a breath. What do you think?
I agree.
And maybe a little Tai Chi breath, where we take a nice deep breath.
Yeah.
Oh, and let that all out. Okay.
That's good.
Now it's time.
I forget that too.
Time for lunch, and then we take a nap.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to start with our flank steak with garlic roasted potatoes. Pretty simple. I bought little red potatoes and I actually boiled them for about 20 minutes till they were just soft, just not mushy, but soft.
Okay.
It called for 2 pounds. I got a little less than 2 pounds, but whatever you can find at the grocery store. They just had bags of 1.5 pounds, so that's what I got.
Okay.
I got 2 cups of broccoli. I have 1 sweet onion cut up. That's for my sweet husband.
Does he watch this later?
He does. He got a real kick out of me talking about him not liking onions and garlic. So he's not going to like this. It was so funny last week, and I'm tattling on him. I had potato salad, and we put onions in it. And I had said, don't tell my husband. Well, he ate probably at least a cup or more of it before he watched the program, not knowing there was onions in it. And so the second batch of potato salad, he shoved all the little onions off to the side. I thought that was funny.
Don't let him watch it before he eats anymore.
That's right. Well, my kitchen smells like garlic, so I have a feeling he knows that now.
Right.
So anyway, and I've got 1 red pepper all diced up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a bowl, and in that bowl we're going to put 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. And this is to sort of marinate the vegetables, sort of get them all oily and ready for the oven. So there's our olive oil.
So this is going to be everything in one pan?
Yep. So to that, I'm going to add 1/4 cup olive oil, and then I'm going to add a tablespoon of cumin. If you've never tasted ground cumin, I love it. It's sort of used in some Mexican dishes. It just adds a nice smoky taste to it. It's really nice. So I've got 1 tablespoon of dried oregano and 1 tablespoon of cumin. And I've already got that all mixed up, and I'm going to dump that in my olive oil. Okay, to this, I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. Just a little drizzle, a little sprinkle. And let me get a spoon so I can mix that up. I'll get a spatula. Okay, so now I'm going to mix all up. So those are all my wet ingredients. Now to this, I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic. Shh, Don't tell anybody.
No, it's
I
our
have a little
secret.
story. Got a little story about garlic. I went to my my pantry today to get my garlic out, and I never keep my garlic in the refrigerator. It seems like it wants to mold a little in the refrigerator, so I
Okay.
just keep it on the shelf. And I didn't double check my garlic, and when I got there, it's all dry. There's nothing left of my garlic. I left it in there too long.
So what are you using?
Well, just so happens in my refrigerator, I have a jar of minced garlic. Now, it doesn't add the flavor. I think that fresh garlic does, but in a pinch like this, I have it and I'm going to use it. So 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. It would probably be almost a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more, but I'm gonna go a little lighter just because of, certain people not liking garlic.
Some
But
people
I've
don't
probably
like
got
garlic.
a little over a teaspoon in there.
A teaspoon
I'm gonna
or a
put that in there.
tablespoon?
Well, that's a tablespoon, but it wasn't quite full, so maybe half a tablespoon. I would probably add the whole tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon, if it was just me. Oh, because it smells like garlic. It smells wonderful. Okay, so that's all in there. Okay, to that, what I'm going to add is just all my vegetables. So let me add my broccoli. Let me add my red pepper. Let me add my onion. And then I'm going to add my little red potatoes. And I'm just going to toss those so that they all get covered with the oil and the herbs and the spices. Oh, this is beautiful.
So you're not cutting the potatoes at all?
Nope, I'm leaving them whole. I've already parboiled them for about 20 minutes. So they're
Okay.
already pretty well cooked. What they do is when they go in the oven, they'll just crisp up a little.
Okay.
Okay. So if you can see that, all those lovely vegetables.
I wish I could smell that.
It is wonderful. I can just tell you. The garlic really comes through, whatever. Okay, so I have a sheet pan, and if you only have a small cooking sheet, you can do that too. It doesn't have to be this big a pan. It's nice because I can spread the vegetables out and they're not laying on top of one another, which is nice. Okay, so I'm just going to dump those on my pan. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't those beautiful?
That's nice.
I think there's enough here for a big family, don't you?
It does. You
Thing
and your
about
husband
it-
are going to eat that.
Yeah. Thing about it is if you live alone, just cut these recipes in half. Or if it's just maybe you don't eat that much, or maybe you want leftovers. It's always nice to have leftovers because you can eat them day after day and you don't have to worry about cooking. Okay, I'm going to spread those out on my sheet pan. I've got my flank steak here in the corner. Can you see that?
I can now.
Yep. They suggest you slice it before you bake it. So I went ahead and sliced it in the little, just thin strips. And to that, I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil on it. And then to that, I'm going to add, some garlic. Garlic. Again, I'm just going to add it calls for 2 cloves of garlic, but I'm not going to add that much, just enough for flavor. Because these recipes, I do eat them after we're done. So,
Well, that would make sense.
yeah. So there's garlic, and I'm going to add salt and pepper to my steak. And I'm going to sort of rub that garlic around on my steak. Oh, man, does that look good. Looky here. hold it up there. Can you see that?
Looks great.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It's a great
Okay.
one pan meal.
One pan meal. You're done. So I'm going to pop this in an oven. I'm going to set my oven on broil and on high. And when I actually cooked one before this one, so I've got double the amount. But the first one I did, I really did it according to the directions to make sure that it worked well. So I set my broiler to high. I put my cookie sheet in just like this, my sheet pan. I put it in the oven. It's about 5 to 7 inches away from your broiler. So make your rack down about that far.
Right, not really close.
Not really close. The first time I was afraid it would burn, so I set my timer for 5 minutes. I opened the oven and it was starting to brown the meat on top. So I thought, well, that's enough. So I pulled it out, and after the 5 minutes or 7 minutes, you would flip the meat over so that the other side will brown. So I stuck it back in there, and I left it for 7 minutes that time. It was perfect with a nice red center with 5 minutes and 7 minutes, but I wanted just a little longer, so I added those 2 more minutes because I like my meat a little bit more done sometimes. My husband does. So let me show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. Look here, and there it is.
Wow.
All done. The potatoes are really nice. The vegetables are nice and crisp. And there's just a little pink on my meat, just a little. So the 5 to 7 minutes is really close to what you do. If you want that pink in there, leave it 5 minutes, take it out, flip your meat, stick it back in for 5 more minutes. You get that pink in the center. If you want a little more done like I've done, put the 7 minutes, pull it out, flip the meat over, and do 7 more minutes, and it's perfect.
So all the vegetables are perfectly cooked? Everything's good?
Absolutely perfectly cooked. Let's see here. Oh, that's a red pepper. Is that good? Oh.
So all of those, everything's all just kind of cooked all together, and it's all running all together, and it looks beautiful.
It's all running together. I'll tell you what, this would be really good too. Tonight or this afternoon when we have a late lunch, we'll probably just eat it as is. But I think tomorrow with leftovers, I can probably take those vegetables, maybe not the potatoes, but the rest of the vegetables and the meat, and put it in a fajita shell and make fajitas.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, so you could use it several times, which we're going to have to do because I got a lot of meat. Okay.
I really think I need to start coming to your house and helping you cook there.
I think you're going to need to come to my house and help me start eating.
Well, that would be after I helped you start cooking.
Yep. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is a classic wedge salad. Bonnie, have you ever had a wedge salad?
I love wedge salads, yes.
Yeah. A lot of
They're one of my favorites.
Yeah. A lot of the restaurants have them. What's your favorite dressing? Is it blue cheese?
I love blue cheese.
Yeah.
It's perfect on a wedge salad.
Yeah, and that's classic. You could do ranch if you don't like blue cheese. Some people don't like that tang of blue cheese. And you could do ranch. You could do French. You could do whatever you wanted. I'm going to show you how I bought this head iceberg lettuce at the store, and it has this core. Let me show you how I get rid of this core. All I do to that core, I just slam it on the table, and it usually it just pops right out. See, your core just comes right out.
Very good.
So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Now you want to take those outer leaves off your lettuce. I go down 3 or 4 till I see that it's looking pretty good. Some people wash their head lettuce. I think if you're careful and take off the outside, I think you'll be okay. It just when I wet head lettuce, it seems like it gets so mushy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So we're going to cut this. The recipe's for 4, but there's just my husband and I, so I'm just going to make 2 this afternoon. So I'm going to cut it down in the middle, right down in the middle. Cut it in half, and then I'm going to take a wedge, the half wedge, and I'm going to cut it in a 1/4. And of course, if you were making 4 of them, you just go ahead and cut your other half and half, and have all 4. So let's plate our lettuce wedges. This is so easy to do, especially if you got company coming. Just quick and easy. And you know, this in itself can make a lunch. This is
yes.
really good. Okay, to this, I'm going to add my ranch dress or my blue cheese dressing. So I'm just going, it calls for a cup of blue cheese dressing. That would be 1/4 of a cup per
wedge.
1/4. Yeah, per wedge. But I'm just going to guess here at it. Look at that. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
That looks like more than 1/4 of a cup.
Yeah, I'm going to get real bad with it.
It looks pretty yummy.
It's going to be pretty yummy. On top of that, I've got some cherry tomatoes, and I quartered them. So I'm going to put some cherry tomatoes. Yum.
Yum.
On top of that, I'm going to put some crumbled bacon. When I cook my bacon, I like it really crisp. And of course, for something like this, crisp is what you want. So I usually put it in the oven, and it just becomes just really brittle and crisp. I think this is probably what makes it. And that's,
well, anything's better with bacon on it.
now,
So,
you can't do bacon. You could always do turkey bacon.
that's true.
Yeah. You could use those imitation bacon, but yeah, I like the real stuff.
Real bacon.
Real bacon. Okay, that looks good. Now on top of that, not done with it, I'm going to put some more blue cheese crumbles. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm put
That
some
makes
blue
it
cheese
perfect.
crumbles.
I think you could almost put that on top of the steak also.
You could, that's true.
I've had black and blue steak before, and it was steak with blue cheese on top of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you could probably even put the steak under the lettuce if you wanted.
Make it a steak salad.
Yeah, that's right. Now it called for a tablespoon of diced chives. You could do that. But I ended up just getting green onions. And I think I'll just put this on one of them because someone doesn't like onions.
Someone in your house doesn't like onions.
There it is. So I'm just going to put that on the biggest wedge because that's mine. So it's got green onions on it.
I really like watching you cook.
Do you? There. Can you see that?
Oh, yes.
Aren't those beautiful?
Tip it up a little. Let me see better. Oh, yes. That looks great.
I think that could be a meal on itself.
Well, at least that bigger one.
The bigger one. You mean Becky's piece?
Becky's piece is bigger.
Well, think about it this way. It's healthier, right? I mean, what on there other than maybe the bacon? And maybe
blue cheese.
Maybe the blue cheese.
Maybe the blue cheese.
The dressing.
But it does have lettuce in there, so we're good with that.
It does have, it's very filling. There's fiber. Yeah, come on. So there's our salad. Okay. The last thing I've got for you today is dessert. Texas sheet cake. Yum, huh?
It is my favorite cake. It honestly is my favorite.
I've got a whole pan of it, Bonnie.
My mother-in-law used to make it special for me when I would go to their house. She always made Texas sheet cake just for me because she knew how much I loved it.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
That's
she was
sweet.
very sweet.
Well, I baked one earlier to show you what the finished product looked like. And there it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is perfection.
it is
That-
perfection.
That's perfection.
I usually bake one and then I do one to show you what I've done. I'm afraid to do that because I'm afraid if I bake another one, I'll eat two of them.
It's understood. I understand that.
So let me tell you what I've done. I've taken 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, 2 cups of sugar, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I put that in one bowl. I've taken my whisk and I've mixed it all up so it's all mixed up. In a separate bowl, I've put 1/2 cup of buttermilk. I put 2 large eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I've put 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And I stir that all up. And I set those aside. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, and I'll have to think of the recipe, you can use regular milk. Look it up. You put vinegar into regular milk and it turns it to buttermilk. And I meant to look that up. But you
Is
can
that
make your
true?
own.
I did not know that.
Yes, you can make your own buttermilk, so you don't have to go out and buy buttermilk. And then what I did on top of the stove, I took 2 sticks of butter. Now, there's no fat in this, right?
Of course.
Took 2 sticks of butter and I melted it. And while that was going on the back burner, I had a cup of water that I was heating to boil. So I melted my butter. I took 4 heaping teaspoons of cocoa powder. So once the butter was melted, you added 4 heaping teaspoons of cocoa powder. Stirred that into your butter. I still kept it on a low heat. When the water was boiling, I poured it over into the mixture of butter and cocoa powder.
Okay.
Stirred that all up together. I took it off the heat, brought it over, and I poured that mixture into my flour, sugar, and baking and salt. Stirred that all together.
Okay.
And let that cool just a little, just enough to get it all incorporated. It pretty well cooled. And then to that, I added my egg mixture. And the reason you let that cool a little is because you didn't want the egg and buttermilk to actually cook eggs. So I let it cool. So you stir that all up. And I thought, this isn't going to go together right. But it did. You just have to keep stirring until it's all together.
Okay.
And then you do not grease your pan. Make sure it's ungreased. You pour that mixture all over your pan. And I would use a big half sheet pan like this because look, it filled it up pretty full. You stick that in the oven for 20 minutes. And I think it's 350 degrees, 20 minutes, and it was done. While that was baking in the 20 minutes on the stovetop, I took a stick and 3/4 of butter in, almost 4 sticks of butter in there.
That's why it's so good.
Yeah, and I melted that. And to that, I added 4 heaping teaspoons of cocoa, so very chocolatey. And then to that, I added 6 tablespoons of milk. So I added 6 tablespoons, not the buttermilk. I actually opened up a can of evaporated milk because I don't keep a lot of milk here at the house. And I added that. I added a teaspoon of vanilla. And then I added powdered sugar. Now the recipe online says 1 pound of powdered sugar.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
I looked up how much is 1 pound. If you don't have a 1 pound bag, how much is 1 pound? So I looked it up and it's 4 cups of powdered sugar. So you add all that sugar in there, stir that up, and you're still stirring, and you add 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. Now you can leave that out.
No, don't leave that out.
Don't leave that out. So as soon as that cake comes out of the oven, it's going to be very hot. You want to pour that icing on top of it with that cake hot. Because what it does is it sets on top like fudge. And it tastes like fudge too. But isn't that wonderful?
That is beautiful.
Let's cut a piece of that.
But you're too far away to be cutting it.
Too far away to be cutting it. I'm going to make you drool, Bonnie. That's what I'm going to do.
I am. You need to make a delivery of that to Marietta. I'll even meet you halfway.
Of course, you know that first piece doesn't come out very pretty. But there it is. Can you see that?
Oh,
Yeah.
That looks exactly like Texas sheet cake is supposed to look.
Mm.
Nice and thick and doughy.
Oh, yummy. Here, wait a minute. Bonnie, let me make you really jealous.
Let me have, so not fair. So not fair.
It's still a little warm too. Oh, is that good?
I'm not cooking with you ever again.
Tell me where you want to meet and I'll bring you a piece of Chex.
Meet me halfway. Meet me halfway.
Okay, so we have our steak. So let me get that plated up. We've got steak. I've got vegetables. I've got potatoes. I need another potato.
That's like a Hungry Jack meal.
It does. It does. And then to that, I'm going to add my wedge.
Dear God, that's a lot of food.
I told you I'm not eating tonight.
Save room for the Texas sheet cake.
So, look at that. Can you see that?
It looks wonderful. Really, really looks good. And I have all of the recipes you sent me for everything that you made.
So this recipe is online.
Right.
We're going to continue doing this for a while, right, Bonnie?
We are. As long as you're going to keep cooking with me, I'm going to keep cooking with you.
Okay, okay. Well, this meal, like I said, is going to be my between lunch and dinner. What do you call that? Not a brunch.
No.
No.
You would need mimosas if it was brunch.
Yeah. But I think with this, I'll probably just have a nice cold glass of water, maybe a glass of iced tea. So that is dinner lunch today.
Okay.
Okay. Well, next week, we have a trivia question.
Oh, yeah, trivia question. I forgot.
Last week, we celebrated Father's Day. And I hope everyone had a wonderful Father's Day. I wonder if anyone can remember what my dad's name was and what my brother's name was. If you can remember that, just go ahead and type it in online, send it to O'Neill Center, and we'll see who can remember that. Next week, we'll be celebrating 4th of July. Can't believe it's this deep into the summer already, huh?
I can't either. It's crazy.
We're going to do a cheeseburger slider, and we're going to do that in the oven. Again, you don't have to go out there and stand over a hot grill, and you can enjoy yourself with your family, just like last week. We're going to do a broccoli salad, and this is Becky style.
Oh, I love broccoli salad.
Yeah, and I have a special little trick for that. We're going to do an easy macaroni salad. And then we're going to do a dessert. It's a frozen delight, and it is something that will please everyone.
Oh, I like that. Is it a 4th of July dessert?
It is. It's frozen, and the only thing that won't like it is your muffin top.
Oh,
because it's really rich.
After the Texas sheet cake with 4 sticks of butter, I think it has to be better.
We're going to have to fast all week just to make up for the next cooking club.
Exactly. But everything looks beautiful and looks yummy. And now I want to come to your house and have dinner.
Yeah. Well,
And
we'll have to see where you're going to meet me, and I'll bring you some.
bring me Texas sheet cake.
There you go. There you
All
go.
right. Well, thanks
Remember,
again, Becky.
you're welcome. And remember, everyone, make sure to stay hip. Let's stay healthy. Make sure you eat your vegetables. Eat the Texas sheet cake last, right? Or a little bit of it. Stay healthy, independent, and productive. Stay hip. Healthy, independent, and productive.
Okay.
Thank you,
and
everybody.
And eat dessert first. Bye, Becky. Thank you.
Bye, Bonnie. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.